had to stop listening to Post Malone's new song in order to record this video, so you're welcome for the sacrifice on my end. I want to preface this video that I started playing Magic about 2017 and 2018, and then there was kind of like a time period between like 2020 up till like the end of 2022 where I stopped playing Magic. In fact, my first video on this channel was my reintroduction to Magic the Gathering, playing Mono Black and Pauper. So the Magic product I'm going to be referring to and talking about was primarily out during the time when I wasn't playing, so please don't like quote me on any like super specific things on dates and times or whatnot, because trying to refer to those things and look back at them is kind of difficult. I recently made a video that I'm going to be slowing down on Pauper related Magic content because I don't really have a whole lot of people to play Pauper with in my area. There aren't people that really play it. But today's video is not just a video. It's a pitch. It's a pitch that I've definitely probably did not come up with. I'm gonna be honest. I've been getting a lot of comments in my recent videos that people are kind of tired of how much Commander has been taking over Magic the Gathering. Some people are frustrated because it's become very obvious that Wizards is pumping money into their poster child at the moment, which is Commander. Commander products, Commander cards, it's just Commander everything. But Wizards isn't forcing Commander to be the most played format. The fact that you can play with 4 friends casually at any time, you don't need sanctioned events, you don't need to just have one single person you're playing one-on-one with, like all these factors of it being a multiplayer casual game is what drives Commander forward. With that being said, it doesn't help the other formats of Magic the Gathering that Wizards doesn't support them at all. There's no supplemental products for Legacy and Vintage because they're kind of making supplemental products for Modern, which and Pioneer had a supplemental product, kind of, but of course Wizards fucked that one up. Wizards made Challenger decks, which are probably the best product idea they've ever made, and their execution was complete dog shit. Wizards made a sealed product that reflects their competitive formats so people can just go pull one off the shelf for cheap and be able to go play in tournaments without any hassle. But the products don't live up to the original versions of the decks because they don't have the correct printings of cards in them. I'm not the first or the last person to say that the card that's on the box, that the box is named after, that the box is built around, should probably have 4 copies of that card, not 2. I can only imagine that the other Challenger decks do not have the cards inside of them that they're supposed to that would actually make them tier 1 decks. So the product ultimately ended up failing, and that's why we didn't get any in 2023, and we're probably not going to get any in 2024. So what if I propose a solution that actually helps Wizards sell the product so they can get it off of shelves and make money, while also highlighting a format that needs a little bit of love and support?
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Da 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 Preparing
Pauper Challenger decks. This is the perfect product for Challenger decks for several reasons. When little Timmies are walking through Walmart and Target and they see these Challenger decks for Pauper, it's going to incentivize them to go look up what is Magic the Gathering Pauper, and then they're going to see about this awesome format that has all these commons and whatnot, and they can buy the deck, bring it to their LGS, and it will incentivize more LGSs to hold more Pauper tournaments. Pauper used to be the format that really was $30, $40 decks, but now decks are starting to get into the $100 range because as it becomes more popular, there's scarcity in cards. Where are you supposed to get a Snuff Out from Arcadian Masks? But also doesn't make sense to put Snuff Out in Bloomborough or Modern Horizons 3 or other products that are coming out. Snuff Out kind of sucks in Commander, so you could stick it in Commander Precon. It won't be very good, and also it doesn't really help the market because it's in a Commander Precon, so now people have to buy that and open that just to get their Snuff Out, and that makes it harder to get. Maybe you could throw Snuff Out on like the list or whatever as like a bonus card in booster packs sometimes, but then that's kind of shitty for draft if it doesn't work in that draft format. I'm getting off track. Here's the thing about Pauper Challenger decks. The greatest thing about Pauper is that even if a deck was popular 6 years ago, it still is playable today. Maybe it's not tier 1, but there isn't a Pauper deck that isn't viable in some way. Standard Challenger decks will eventually rotate out, and Pioneer Challenger decks can get off meta, and sometimes they aren't worth playing anymore. But if you made a Pauper Challenger deck that was like Gruul Cascade, it doesn't matter if it's 100 years from now. That deck is always going to be playable in Pauper. Not only that, but then Wizards doesn't have to worry about an angry mob worrying about reprinting cardboard, because all of us Pauper players want our cardboard reprinted. Us players of the Poor People format don't want our sideboards costing $30. Pyroblast, Hydroblast, Dust to Dust, these are all cards that have been in Pauper for such a long time. They're staples of the format, but they still cost, you know, $5+. And then there's also cards that are incapable of being reprinted because of the way Wizards handles their Universes Beyond shit. Idiot Shrek literally just posted a video where he was talking with one of the Commander Precon designers about how they don't put Universe Beyond cards in Commander Precons because they don't want the universes meshing and whatnot.
And then also, like, Universes Beyond cards. That's got to be another thing. It's just like, well, that's from Warhammer, or that one was from Doctor Who. This one was from, like, even the D&D sets, actually. It's just like, oh, we can't actually put those in.
Yeah, proper names both ways, you know. It's like Magic IP name and a UB property doesn't really, like, your Demir Signet doesn't make a whole lot of sense in Doctor Who.
Sure, okay.
And vice versa, this Doctor's name doesn't make a whole lot of sense in Magic IP. So.
Okay, yeah. What about rules complexity?
I'm already sitting at a fucking commander table with Lara Croft, Optimus Prime, and the 12th Doctor. There is no other product for them to reprint some of the Lord of the Ring commons that are popular in Pauper. Lorraine revealed, what is it? It's the 5-mana blue spell that draws you 2 cards, 3 cards, and you can island cycle it for 1. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. And unlike some other Pauper cards that could potentially be reprinted in the future, where are they going to reprint this? It's a Lord of the Rings card. So unless we get more Lord of the Ring products, it's not going to show up in the next Commander Precon. So this card that's not only in a bunch of Pauper decks, but is also in a few decks in other formats, is never going to get printed again otherwise. If they made a Blue-White Coggates Challenger deck, you would get 4 copies of that and 4 copies of Hydroblast, and it would be fantastic for the market. These are cards that people want the prices to drop on. With all that being said, in my mind, they could print out Precons for all of the popular Pauper decks in the Pauper meta, and everybody would be happy with that because it'd be easily accessible to all players, all the commons would get the reprints that they need, and then tournaments would be going like crazy, especially if those products can be sold at LGSs directly. Wizards is usually really bad about selling stuff and really good at pissing people off. But this is a product that will factually swap that around. It won't piss anybody off, and it will sell. And I've already done the hard work. I already know exactly what the perfect 4 Pauper Challenger decks should be. The 4 Challenger Pauper decks that should be made is Glitter's Affinity, Golgari Control, Blue-Black Fairies, and Kadoltha Red.
In our announcement too. Alright, so today we are banning the card All That Glitters in Pauper. There's a number of reasons for this, and I'm going to get...
So although what you guys just saw was a bit, I actually was in the restroom while this banning announcement dropped, and All That Glitters is now banned, so unfortunately my 4 choices for Pauper Challenger decks has to change now. So we'll make it easy. Instead of it being Glitter's Affinity, for the time being we'll just make it Coggates, which will then change the list to Mono Red Kadoltha, Golgari Control, Blue Black Fairies, and Coggates. I mean, I guess we'll have to change Blue Black Fairies to maybe Blue Black Affinity if that comes back around. It kind of messes up my initial list that I had created, but at the moment, just to keep white as one of the colors in the Challenger decks, just throw Coggates in there, and then if Blue Black Affinity comes back in popularity, then change Blue Black Fairies to Blue Black Affinity, because Affinity does define Pauper, and it can't not be in the 4 Challenger decks. But All That Glitters is banned now. So, anyways, continue enjoying the video. Sorry about the interruption. Thank you, Gavin. I mean, it's a good thing. All That Glitters was way too strong for the format with Ginger Brute and everything, and so I'm not complaining about the ban announcement. But, I mean, I guess I'd rather have it be announced now than after my video drops. So there's that. Cool. And that's it. I mean, I know this video could have just been a really long tweet to Gavin, but I wanted to make this video, I wanted to say it out loud that I think Pauper as a format needs a little bit more support from Wizards of the Coast. I think making a supplemental product for Pauper is super easy to do because they don't have to worry about having to do these big reprints and messing with the market and blah blah blah, because it's commons and nobody cares. And getting people into Pauper would be super healthy for LGSs. It'd be super healthy for people to just go out to the store, get a deck that's not watered down, be able to bring it to their game store and play with their friends. Like, it really is the perfect product. They just have to do it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please press the subscribe button down below, press the like button, let me know that you enjoyed it, and down in the comments, let me know what you think would be the best 4 Pauper decks for a Pauper Challenger product. I think if we as a community are loud enough about this, I think we could get a supplemental Pauper product from Wizards that would be really healthy for the format. It would get us reprints that we need, it'd get more people into it, and it would just be a good time overall. So let's make our voices heard. Let's get Pauper Challenger decks out onto those shelves at your local Walmart, at your local Target, at your not Toys R Us, and probably maybe Best Buys sometimes, and GameStops if there are any open left. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.